Welcome back. Today we are working on a wing scapula. This is going to be about an hour long. So let's just try to get started and I'll start explaining the routine right now. Only about 40 seconds before we get into the actual massage. So first off, we are releasing the pec minor, the levator scapula, and the rhomboids. I'm doing that on the floor and up against the wall. We're then going to stretch out a few muscles, like the levator scapula and the rhomboids, followed with some mobility for the scapula itself. And then finally, we're going to be strengthening the different muscles like the serratus anterior and the lower traps, as well as the upper traps as well. And finally, we'll finish off with massaging out and stretching a few muscles just to help that wing scapula stay there a little longer. So the first muscle we're doing here is going to be the pec minor. Go ahead and get a ball, finally pouring over your chest, and we're simply going to massage it out for 2 minutes each side. Now you can do whatever techniques you want to do here. If you just want to hang out on the floor and do that, that's fine. You can move back and forth like I'm doing, some micro movements, or you can do like a pin and stretch by moving the arm. Whatever you want to do. But the idea of this is that by releasing the tighter muscles like the pec minor and the other ones we talked about earlier, then the muscles like the serratus anterior and the lower traps will have a much easier time to fire up, which will then help your wing scapula. On top of that, if you have trouble firing up the serratus anterior and fixing it, then it could be that these muscles are just so tight and locking it in this position. So I'm going to change up my movements a little bit here. Going back and forth. Get some pin and stretch. Again, you're just targeting the pec minor specifically, which is right underneath the pec major. You're targeting the pec minor, just right underneath the pec major. And you can do that by just finding the corner, the top corner pocket, right near the shoulder. Now, of course, I'm using a 5-inch ball. You can use whatever tool you want to use. Doesn't really matter. I'm just doing whatever tool I have, basically. Whichever one I feel like is the most useful. So now we're switching sides, and we're just going to do the same thing on the right side here. This side's very tender, actually. I don't know why, but it feels a lot more tender than the other one. I'm going to hang out here for a minute. Ooh. So hopefully you're just following along with me and you don't need me to entertain you for all of these routines. Not really sure what the hell to talk about, honestly. If you give me the topics, then we can talk about it. Oh, this is tender though. Why is it so tender today? It's usually my left one that's usually tender. But today it's Mr. Righty. All right, we're going to change it up here. And now we're going into a standing position up against the wall. The idea of this is releasing our labia or scapula, which is the muscle underneath the upper traps. So to do this, I'm going to find the top corner of the medial border of the scapula, and I'm going to begin working that area a little bit and probably pull it up towards the neck as well. But the tender spots are right in that corner. So again, you want to find the middle, the medial superior, the middle upper corner, going closer to the spine and the head of the scapula. And that's where the levator scapula attaches to. And then you can work your way up towards the head, basically, towards the neck. This one's tender. Ooh. Oh. Why are you so tender? Now, of course, you don't need to use a ball here. You can use like a massage cane. There we go. Whichever one is easier to do. And the interesting part is I actually feel this a little bit on top of my head, in the back of my head, like near the ear, a little bit. And that's okay because that just tells me it's most likely a trigger point in there. And I'm just creating referral pain at the moment by pressing on it. So hopefully this is an active trigger point, the primary one. And by releasing this one, we'll get rid of all the other tension throughout the neck and pretty much just the neck and the shoulders a little bit. That is really annoying as what, just hearing this clank. In the bottom of these curtains, there's like a little metal piece and just clanks against the metal. It kind of seems like kettlebells. And it's so inconsistent and it's annoying. Yeah, I gotta fix that. And all I do here is just close it down a little more and push these kettlebells into it for pressure. And hopefully that fights it off. Now we're just changing up other side. Other levator scap, same exact thing. The release phase, stage, whatever you want to call it, for today's treatment session is shorter than usual, only releasing 3 muscles. But we do have an extra exercise or two to target today. So it kind of evens out still to about an hour. Now my goal here is to do roughly hour sessions in the beginning, because let's be real, if you are not in shape, if you ever done massage, then a lot of this is going to be really tender and you're going to need to spend about 2 to 3 minutes a session probably working just one muscle trying to release it. And after you're done doing all this, then we can start moving into shorter treatments, basically like 30 to 40 minute treatments or even 20-minute treatments, which I plan on doing later on. But again, the idea of these is to get back in shape without pain. And if you have just a bunch of tension in different places, then it's not going to help. And all those muscles that are weak are going to fight all this tension. You're not going to go very well. You're not going to get very good results, basically, what I'm trying to say. Ooh. Oh, that's so tender. It's good though. I'm doing this. I still need to do this too. I don't have a wing scapula, not that I'm aware of at least. It's been a while since I checked. But I can always just do this because these are all the muscles that get tight usually and create lots of pain. All right, so we're almost done here, and we're going to change this up into the rhomboids. And for this, all I'm doing is just letting the ball slide down in between the scapula and the spine. Just want to catch it a little earlier. No, my ball. Ignore that. Ugh. All right. There we go. Again, you're looking for the scapula Right, you kind of pull your arm in to feel the bone push against the ball. And then right next to the spine, you don't want to go on the spine itself. But you can go on the scapula itself because you have muscles there too, like your rotator cuff muscle, the infraspinatus, teres major, all that. Minor, sorry, teres minor. So I can even pull my arm away a little bit, just kind of get the muscle on a stretch. And then as I do these micro movements, these back and forths and side to sides here, it'll help release it hopefully a little faster. And because it's on a stretch a little bit, the fascia will help stretch out a little more as well. Damn, this is tender. Ah, dang. Ooh. Shit hurts. So hopefully after all this, we can stretch these muscles out, and then strengthening the thorax interior will be a lot easier. And hopefully you'll feel a difference immediately. Because that's the goal of these is to get back in shape without pain, but to do it the fast method. And I do believe if you are in pain, you need to get rid of these tight muscles first, the fascia first. Like you can go through physical therapy and you'll get results. It's just gonna take like 6 months because you're not releasing these muscles. You're just trying to train in this situation. You're trying to train the thorax interior to make it strong enough to fight against the tight muscles and the fascia. So why not just release the fascia first and the tight muscles and then train? It's a little longer of a treatment, but the results come by faster. And then you don't need to do the massage all the time, right? It's only in the beginning. It's only temporary until you can get your mobility back without any pain. That's the whole idea. And then you can start your workouts with warm-ups like mobility drills just for the joints, or just, basic exercises at lightweight, whatever. Oh, I can't wait to change. This one's tender. All right. That's about time right there. Just gonna put these balls away real quick. Now, up next, we should be doing some stretches. Yes, that is correct. Stretching the levator, scapula, and then the rhomboids. Got my aminos. Not that I think I need them. I just like the flavor. If you didn't know, we usually get most of our aminos from our diet. You don't need them. You don't need the BCAAs. Unless you're like one of those hardcore athletes. All right, levator stretch. Just tilt your head to the opposite side you want to stretch and hold it. Try to keep your nose straight, and you'll feel a nice little stretch in the back. You can probably even rotate down a little bit to get a nice little stretch, but then we're also targeting the upper traps as well, which is okay, but whichever one you like better. And by the way, if you want to learn how your scapula actually works in general, the patterns for how to move it, then make sure to check out my new video. It should be the one that came out a few days ago on Sunday, last Sunday. So go check it out, especially if you want to understand why this treatment will work so well. My music just stopped. How rude. Oh, well. This is a nice stretch, actually. Now, to stretch the rhomboids, which is coming up next, I like to grab like an elevated surface high up, a little higher than normal. And all I really do is just lean back and to the side, and it kind of pulls your scapula away, which helps stretch out your rhomboids. So I want to do one arm at a time. You can do two at a time. I just find one works a little easier for me to really focus the stretch. Now, right now, I'm just trying to shifting my weight in different areas to see if I could change the stretch up a little bit, find a different spot near my rhomboids. Just make sure you're not basically focused. You're not focusing on the rhomboids. That makes any sense. Keep your focus on the rhomboids when you shift your body around. Don't start doing this and initially stretch your rhomboids, but then you're stretching your lats. You know what I mean? Yeah, baby. Oh, this I feel so good. Now here we're going to be doing some just basic scapular elevation depression. It's only 30 seconds because the movements don't take long to do. The idea is this: you're just shrugging the shoulders, trying to move the scapula up and down. So it looks like this: up and down. Now again, try to just focus on the scapula doing the movements versus just the shoulders. It is a little different. Should feel pretty much similar, but you should feel a slight difference. But again, focus. Try to actually think about those muscles moving the scapula up and down as opposed to just doing the movement, you know? Mind to muscle. It's a real thing. Here, retraction, protraction, same exact shit. Arms forward now, but we're going to pull forward and rear back and reach back. And again, my elbows can be bent, straight, whatever. The focus is moving that scapula. And now we got a shoulder rotation. Hold on, I'm running nosy here. Shoulder rotation, one direction or one arm at a time. We're just doing basic rotations one way and then the other way. The idea of this is take your time. Now for this, I'm also trying to tense the rest of my body just to kind of keep it all contracted. And the way to think about this is think of it as you contracting your arm in these movements. Because a lot of times we're just kind of moving the joint and not really thinking about which muscles are contracting. But in this case, I'm trying to contract all the muscles that move my arm up, back around, rotate it, and pulling in. I'm trying to contract those muscles all at the same time. So the idea is that your arm and your body's under some kind of tension, basically, in order to keep those muscles at least in a isometric contraction while you're in motion. All right, other side, swap sides, about 10 seconds. And then we get into the exercises. I can't wait for the first exercise, which is a band punch. The reason why you look at my awkward ass. Punch right-handed. My really weak hand. But I actually gotta learn how to do that. So, because swinging, punching right hand will translate into a left hip rotation, which will help me in my disc golf. And in general, just life in general. All right. Now let's get into the actual workouts, and I'll talk to you after.
there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Sometimes we're not ourselves, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. And I'll take some time, but I'll be alright. We're moving on, we're moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sometimes there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Sometimes we're not ourselves, there's no one I can turn to. And I'll take some time, but I'll be alright. We're moving on, we're moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on.
Welcome back. Got about 2 minutes left of the workout. Now I'm just going to change it up. So we're starting off with releasing the rhomboids once again. This time only for a minute each side, as opposed to 2. Whew, catch my breath a little bit. Just training the scapula, yo. Hopefully you liked that little workout. You felt it in the armpits, lats area. It's kind of hard to really pinpoint the serratus anterior, but pretty much right there where the lats are. So here we're just releasing the rhomboids, starting with the rhomboids, and then we'll move up to the levator scapula. And again, just 1 minute. The reason we're hitting the rhomboids, once again, we just don't want this muscle to get tight. And this way it kind of helps the serratus anterior and the lower traps remain fired up. Lower trap's a little hard to strengthen just because the angle is always weird. Like to train your serratus anterior or your lower traps, you need to create depression. You can create upward rotation, which is arm up, or you can create retraction. So theoretically, you can go up, back, and then shrug down, but all that together, it's really hard to get it to isolate and fire up, you know? And I forgot to take the voice off this one, but that's okay. Just gonna switch sides now. And if you're wondering why I have this wood, it's because I used to work here, but it's hollow, right? There's not a stud in every inch here, only every 16 inches. So there's a nice little gap here that I had to fix because I kind of dented the wall by doing exactly this. So this is why I have a massage wall now, so I can stop ruining my house. Oh, this is tender too, but it feels so much better than earlier though. Like way earlier, it was just firing up, but now I think it's stretched out and loosened up again. And now that the serratus is hopefully fired up, this muscle isn't contracted as much. You could theoretically massage out your serratus, right?
For 15 seconds.
But that's up to you. I kind of want mine to stay fired up for a little bit because I know it's a little weaker than normal. So I want to keep it fired up. Now we're going into the levator scapula.
For 1 minute.
Remember, this is the top corner, the medial, superior medial border of the scapula, middle up corner. Find that corner, lift for a 10-inch spot in the area, and you'll probably be on it. And even if you're not really directly on it, as long as you're near it, you will at least indirectly affect the fascia, which is just as good. So, not the worst thing in the world if you can't find it, if you can't pinpoint it with accuracy. The more you do it, the better you get. Nice and tender.
Up next, swap sides for 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Up next, release levator scapula right for 1 minute. 3, 2, 1. Release levator scapula right.
If you haven't already, change sides. Again, superior medial border of the scapula. It moves up into the neck. Feels nice. Feels really nice. Like in a painful way. Woo! Keep hearing stuff outside.
That's halfway.
Squirrel. You know that reference? Squirrel. Let me know, chat. That's me, like in real life, though. Like any sort of movement, I'm just like, what the fuck was that? And then I get distracted super easily.
Up next, change for 15 seconds. 3, 2.
All right. And now we're releasing the pec minor. Going back to the floor for this one. Using the ball.
Up next, release pec minor left for 1
I
minute.
didn't want to get on the floor again, honestly.
2, 1.
But coach said get on the floor, so gotta listen to digital coach. Ugh. So again, you could probably skip the pec minor if you wanted to. I just know for a lot of us with the wing scapula and even something like thoracic outlet syndrome, pec minor might be tight and probably something you might want to loosen up, even if you did just work out. The thing is, too, like a lot of these exercises could have triggered the pec minor to get tighter, stronger. For example, when you do protraction, a lot of the exercises for the serratus anterior, well, the pec minor is automatically going to engage somewhat when you do those. So again, just releasing it right after the one you want to relax and the one you, and not releasing the one you want to relax could actually help.
2, 1.
Ah.
Up next, release pec minor float for 1 minute. 3, 2, 1. Release pec minor float.
I might need to get something a little harder here for this right now. Nope, never mind. That sounds right. Sometimes you just got to get like a smaller ball and find a way to get this a little deeper. With that said, you know, you can only go deep as you only go so far deep before you like hurt yourself or something, right? So of course there's a balance to it.
That's it. Up next, change for 15 seconds.
Ugh.
3, 2, 1.
So now the last couple here, it's going to be just a few different stretches. First one for levator scapula. Again,
Up next,
tilt your head to the side. I'll sit down lazy.
for 1 minute. Stretch levator scapula.
Tilt your head to the side and just hold it there. You can even rotate down a little bit to stretch that levator scap. You can take this other arm and bring it behind us to get even more of a stretch, because now that's pulling the levator scapula down as you tilt. I guess technically we would want to go this, right? Because then it creates a little bit of an upward rotation, but let's not overcomplicate this. I won't confuse myself.
That's it. Up next, swap sides for 10 seconds. 3,
Going to change sides.
1.
Oh, I get my little itch.
Up next, stretch levator
So yeah, hopefully these little
for 1 minute.
workout sessions are helping you out, getting you ready for the new year,
Scapula, right.
and helping you get out of pain, of course. Wing scapula can create all sorts of issues, tight muscles, instability in the shoulder and the joints. So we gotta work on it.
That's it.
Ah, 10 seconds. And now I'm pulling my head back a bit as I do this, and I can feel like a nice little stretch in the SCN as well.
3, 2,
It's a nice little stretch.
change.
All right, now we're stretching the rhomboids. Again, reach across, and you're going to want to pull to create protraction in your scapula.
For 1 minute. 3,
Almost done here. Got 2 minutes left.
stretch.
Let's do this. I've actually find this helps a little bit, trying to get closer to the wall. I mean, yeah, it should make sense theoretically.
Let's upgrade. Up next, swap sides for 1 second. 3.
Swap sides for 1 second.
Stretch your
That's an error. That's fine. Ugh. Guess I never noticed that, but that's fine. I'll take an error at the end of the little thing as opposed to somewhere in the middle or the beginning.
Let's upgrade.
Almost done here. This is nice. You kind of push away as I stretch it. Gives it a nice extra stretch.
Wing scapula 1 hour following 3, 2, 1.
End of timer. Hopefully you liked the wing scapula edition. Let me know in the comment section how it went, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace.